In this video segment, we're going to explore the many uses of cost codes in Corecon. Cost codes can be a defined list of classifications and groupings that track and organize more detailed data into specific items, activities, trades, and tasks. Cost codes are also used to classify costs that a project incurs and organizes other data for tracking, managing, and reporting. Cost codes also become a standard for reporting so that similar costs and revenue are tracked over multiple projects for comparison and analysis for managerial decision making. Cost codes can also be used as your estimating work breakdown structure so that awarded estimates and bids can be easily converted to an awarded project and prime contract. They can also be used to classify and organize data for specifications, RFI, submittals, etc. Cost codes can be used to group, sort, search, filter, subtotal, detailed information, whether it be dollars, hours, or quantities. They can also be used to organize scheduling tasks. There's a lot of sources for master cost code lists. The most common is the American Institute of Architects master numbering format, sometimes referred to as CSI codes. There's also other standards such as the National Association of Home Builders and Uniformat. In Corecon, job cost codes are used to track project financials in a project management phase and are required when entering transaction details such as budgets, change order line items, purchase order line items, miscellaneous expenses, time cards, and so on. Although cost codes can be added at any time, it's recommended that these codes are defined at the project setup phase. There's a few important things to know. There's a sort order, which is a numeric field and determines how cost codes will be listed. I'm going to open in this particular contract the cost code table to show you what this means. If you don't see all of these columns in your Corecon, you can just simply go to the column settings icon, which looks like a small blue gear, and you can add and take away columns. In this view, the second and third column are job cost codes. They are project specific. The descriptions can be changed, although you do want to keep these reasonably close to the standard so that in the future, additional data, additional projects can be compared, apples for apples. There's also a division code, which is a more summarized version. This is from the master cost code list. And you also can have 4 tiers: division, major, minor, and subminor. Only division and major are showed here. Division codes are more summarized, more like subtotals of the more detailed data under the major code. If you continue to drill down, you could go from division, major to minor, and then subminor. Corecon also has 5 built-in resource types: materials, labor, equipment, subcontract, and other. Each of these cost resources or cost types are an additional way of drilling down on data within a cost code. So every cost code has all 5 categories. Also, you'll notice that the cost code descriptions do not include those categories or resources. Millwork, for example, isn't followed by the word material or labor because there's an additional way of drilling down on that detail within the cost code. Your contract amounts, costs, and hour budgets are set up at the prime contract level and not on the job cost code table. Job cost codes are project specific. Therefore, job cost codes can be different from project to project. When integrating with an accounting system, cost codes or internal division codes usually match those service items in your accounting software. There's also something in Corecon called owner codes, which we're going to cover in a different training video. Cost codes can also be used to identify tax and workers' comp categories. To illustrate this, let's take a look at a prime contract. Notice a project has already been selected and a prime contract has already been set up and marked approved. If we open that detail and drill down, you'll notice that the original prime contract budgets are broken into 4 types: a contract amount or schedule of values, cost budgets, labor hour budgets, and equipment hour budgets. If I open any one of these, you'll see down the left-hand column job cost codes. In this case, the prime contract original items and the total contract value are tied to the individual line items, in this case by trade or task. Back to the original contract items again, we go to budgets. You'll see job cost codes down the left-hand column, and since it's a cost budget, there are 5 primary cost resources or cost types: materials, labor, equipment, subcontract, and other. Again, notice that none of the descriptions include any of those notations, because any one of these job cost codes can have any of those 5 categories, cost types, or cost resources. In some cases, items that are going to be subcontracted would show the entire amount under the subcontract column. Items that are self-performed, you would more likely see material costs, labor costs, and possibly equipment costs. One great feature of Corecon is that if you started out budgeting, for example, that you were going to self-perform the work and later decide to subcontract it, the dollar amounts in the cost budget could be moved to the subcontract column. Back to the prime contract again. This time we'll go down to labor hour budgets. Cost codes are down the left-hand column, and any of those that have labor involved would have a total number of hours budgeted as well. If we go to the help articles, to getting started, the Corecon import options from Microsoft Excel, one of the subjects is the classification codes or master cost code list. If we open that, you'll see several standards that are available, although your own custom cost codes could be created as well using an import template. These are all in Excel format, and these can be imported directly into the Corecon Global settings. In other training videos, you'll see the importance of already having this established. However, most of these lists are quite long and may not apply completely to your company. We do encourage you to choose one, gather your senior members of your team together, and narrow down these lists to something more usable and more custom to your type of work. Once you've done that, you can go to the Corecon Global settings and then to company settings and cost codes and import one or more lists. Do try to keep the type or the label for each list short. You can have more than one, but we suggest starting out with simply one, and that we recommend the CSI codes 2016 or greater. When you're ready to import the list that you've scrubbed down from the master set, simply click Add, label the cost code list, and it will give you an opportunity to import that Excel spreadsheet directly into Corecon. If I open the CSI 2016 cost codes, you can see the 4 tiers. Let's go to concrete, which is the division. If I click down, if I drill down on that, then I get to the major level. Then we'll go to cast in place concrete. Now we're down to the minor level, the 3rd tier. And if there's anything addition, you could drill down another layer to the sub-minor. Again, the division is the least amount of detail, major, minor, and then sub-minor is the most amount of detail. Back to Corecon Home, back to our prime contract, then to contract admin, and to cost codes. There's several ways of adding cost codes to a project. These will be covered in additional training videos, but to outline the options, you can go to Actions, and you can see you can add manually. You can add using the wizard, which will import from the Excel spreadsheets. You can also import from the master list, which are the cost codes we showed in the global settings. And you can also set up owner cost codes. If you'd like to know more about the information discussed in this training video, we encourage you to go to the help articles, down to leads and projects, and then contract admin. There's a helpful article and additional details under job cost codes in this help article.